Right, let's start today with the altar of the 12 gods, which you can see here, and it may not look very interesting or important, but it does have its importance, and it has been uncovered completely, although they built a railway at a certain point behind here, so this is just up against the wall dividing the Agora archaeological site from the railway. You can see the railway tunnel there. So the altar of the 12 gods is interesting partly because it's one of the few archaic monuments in the Agora, and we can date it precisely because Thucydides tells us that the grandson of the tyrant Pisistratus, also called Pisistratus, when he was eponymous archon in 522/1, in other words the archon who gives his name to the year, he set up in the Agora an altar of the 12 gods. And we know this is it because we found a statue base lying against the wall of the enclosure that has an inscription on it saying, quote, Liagros, son of Glaucon, dedicated this statue, or dedicated this statue is implied, to the 12 gods. The monument was damaged by the Persians in 480 but repaired and remained an important, if low-profile, part of the classical Agora. And yeah, it was important for a couple of reasons. First, it had an altar in the middle of this fenced enclosure. So you can see one corner of the enclosure here. And I'll just take you over to this very convenient reconstruction here. So you can see what we're looking at there in that corner, the sort of closest corner to us, as it were, in the drawing. That's basically what we can see now. So it had an altar in the middle of that, as you can see in the reconstruction, in the middle of this fenced enclosure. And this altar would have been the site of sacrifices, libations, and we even have a connection to a water supply, which probably provided water for ritual purposes. You can see that stone right up against the fence there, and then the water basin, Periranterion, there. So not much of that is visible, but you can see that one stone right next to with the two little divots in it, which is that one there. So it's a holy place, it's a sacred place. The other reason it's important is because of its position right next to the Panathenaic Way. So this is actually something you can see on this map here. So here's the altar of the 12 gods there in kind of red and orange, and there's the Panathenaic Way. And the fact that it was holy and it was because, and that it was close to this thoroughfare meant that it was an excellent place to claim refuge. So people would claim asylum in here. We know all about this in classical texts. You come and you sort of grasp the altar and you claim refuge. And strictly speaking, nobody's meant to be able to get you and take you away and kill you or whatever they want to do with you. Though of course we do have examples of when that seems to have happened. So the third reason it's important is because its antiquity and its centrality to the Agora, if you look back where it is, meant that it actually came to be used as the sort of center point for the Athenians' geography. So for official distances in ancient Athens, official distances to and from the demes, that kind of thing, demes being the municipalities of Athens and its larger territory. Oh, there's the train. All of these were sort of measured from the altar of the 12 gods. So it's kind of like Charing Cross in London, or Seoul, I think, in Madrid. You know, it's the place where all the postcodes, as it were, are calculated from. It's still a holy site, actually. Back in 2011, actually, there was a time when the trains were stopped, and some of the archaeologists were from the American School of Classical Studies were taking another look at this monument behind the wall. But there was a claim from some local neo-pagans to use this as a ritual site. I can't remember if their claim went through, but here it is, still holy to some neo-pagans and also fans of Athenian history. Altar of the 12 gods.